Okay, guys, let's get up in some Edward. I'm seeing a lot of comments. Great job, guys. Mason specifically, dude, killer comment, man. Dude wrote like a paragraph, and it wasn't just "I like the book." It was like telling me about it. Great job. Check out Mason's comment if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, chapter 13. So the last we left off, Edward was in the landfill. He gets pulled out by a dog, and then this guy. Anybody remember his name? His name's Bull. He's a hobo, which means he's homeless and he just travels around. Just hobos just hop on trains and just ride around and eat out of beans out of a can, and they just kind of just homeless. They're basically just homeless and they wander. And and what did the guy's name is Buck, by the way. Buck. What did he start calling Edward? Malone. Because he doesn't know his name. He doesn't know that his name was Susanna, and then before that his name was Edward. He just was like, yo, I found a rabbit. All right. They traveled on foot. They traveled in empty rail cars. Those are trains. They were always on the move. But in truth, said Bull, we are going nowhere. That, my friend, is the irony of our constant movement. Edward rode in Bull's bedroll, slung over Bull's shoulder, with only his head and ears sticking out. So he's basically in his backpack. Bull was always careful to position the rabbit so that he was not looking down or up, but was instead forever looking behind him at the road they had just traveled. At night, they slept on the ground, under the stars. Lucy, after her initial disappointment about Edward being unfit for consumption, Lucy's the dog, took a liking to him and slept curled up beside him. Sometimes she even rested her muzzle on his china stomach. And then the noises she made in her sleep, whimpering and growling and shuffing, resonated inside Edward's body. To his surprise, he began to feel a deep tenderness for the dog. Wow. So before, Edward didn't love anybody. He didn't love Abelina, the little girl. Then he kind of he felt bad about losing Nellie and Lawrence, the fisherman and the old lady. And now look at him. He's kind of loving. He likes a dog, and usually he hates dogs because they try to eat him. During the night, while Bull and Lucy slept, Edward, with his ever-open eyes, stared up at the constellations. He said their names, and then he said the names of people who loved him. He started with Abilene, and then he went to Nellie and Lawrence, and from there, Bull and Lucy. And then he ended up with Abilene. Abilene, Nellie, Lawrence, Bull, Lucy, Abilene, so on. See, Edward told Pellegrina, I am not like the princess. I know about love. And here's Edward and Bull hanging out at the camp, at a little campfire. I do know what about love. There were times, too, when Bull and Lucy gathered around a campfire with other tramps. Tramps are homeless people, or hobos. Bull was a good storyteller and even better singer. Hey, yo, sing for us, Bull, the men shouted. Bull sat with Lucy leaning against his leg, and Edward balanced on his right knee, and he sang from somewhere deep inside of himself. Just as Edward could feel Lucy's whimpers and growls resonate through his body at night, he could also feel the deep, sad sound of Bull's songs move through him. Edward loved it when Bull sang. And he was grateful to Bull, too, for seeing that a dress was not the kind of clothing for Edward. Malone, said Bull one night, it's not my desire to offend you or to comment negatively on your choice of garb. Garb means what you're wearing. But I'm forced to tell you that you stick out like a sore thumb in that princess dress. And also, again, with no wish to offend you, the dress has seen better days. Nellie's beautiful dress had not fared well at the dump or in the subsequent ramblings with Bull and Lucy. It was so torn and dirty and full of holes that it barely resembled a dress anymore. I have a solution, said Bull, and I hope that it meets you with your approval. He took his own knit stocking cap and cut a big hole in the top of it and two small holes on the sides and he took off Edward's dress. Look away, Lucy, he said to the dog. Let's not embarrass him alone by staring at his nakedness. Bull slid the hat over Edward's head and pulled it down and poked his arms through the smaller holes. There you go, he said to Edward. Now you just need some pants. The pants Bull made himself, cutting up several red handkerchiefs and sewing them together so that they formed a makeshift covering for Edward's long legs. Now you have the proper outlaw look, said Bull, standing back to admire his work. Now you look like a rabbit on the run. Okay, good job, guys. Keep commenting. Chapter 14. I wonder what that's going to be about. Maybe you could comment about it. Make a guess. Write about it in Google Classroom. See you guys.